You're locked on to Hans Olsen and Scotty G. That's right, yeah! On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all well. Mike Sanford's going to join us coming up here in just a moment. Fired up to chat with him.
The great
Mike Sanford.
He's jumped out of coaching and into media.
And he's done a phenomenal job.
He's already overtaken Scotty and I in listens, viewership, and likes. I don't know how he's done it in such a short period.
Well, when Mike Sanford says, I'm going to take control of the sports media, especially in the Denver market, I'm going to do that. And that's just what he's done.
I love it.
He joins us now. Mike Sanford, how are you, sir?
Hey, Mike.
How are we doing, gentlemen? It's good to hear your voices.
It's good to hear yours. I'm still inclined to call you Coach. I mean, can I just keep calling you Coach? Is that okay with you, or?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's an earned moniker or not, but that's about the only that's about all I'm known as in these parts in Denver. So, because I think I am the only active coach at Altitude Sports Radio, and yeah, so I go by Coach, man, or Coacher. You can call me whatever you want, man. You can call me Jerk. It doesn't matter.
Hey, by the way, this man calls himself a heck of a football game, too.
Yeah, he does.
We're down at the Arizona Bowl, and it's like, oh, my gosh, it felt like you've been doing this for like 10 years, for crying out loud. You nailed it.
You love doing it?
I had so much fun. That was it was weird. So because I was actually coaching a high school football season this year, I got fewer reps doing color commentary this year. I did one high school game of the week. Actually ended up being the team that we played in the quarterfinals in the state championship or the state playoffs. But it was the only game I did. And so I was a little nervous. I'll be honest. And Scotty's really good, man. I know, you and Hans, you and Scotty have worked together on bowl games in the past. He makes it really easy to work. And I've worked with a multitude of different types of personalities. So I had so much fun insofar as that I want to continue to do it somehow. The only way I think I could do it would be Sundays. So that's probably a tall task to get that job here in Denver with Dave Logan, one of the greatest to ever do it, and also the state championship head coach for the Cherry Creek High School Bruins that beat us in the semifinals. So maybe I'll make a deal with him next year. Is if I beat him in the state championship game, he can give me his Broncos Sunday gig.
I'm just curious about your contract with Estridge and Bowl Season Radio. Do you pay him $800 like I do? So I pay him. I pay him $800.
I was at $1,000 this year. Yeah.
I pay Estridge $800 to be on the broadcast. Are you paying more or less?
Yeah, it makes sense. It's starting to mass because he paid me $1,800, so Scotty's $1,000.
Oh, there you go.
$800. Yeah, so it's a pretty good gig.
It's all
it's not
making
bad
sense.
for just a mere 2 or 3 hours of work. Not bad at all.
I'm so glad we could pay your salary. That's great.
This college football landscape, man, are you probably, I mean, I'm sure you miss the coaching, you miss the practice, you certainly miss game days, but this time of year when you're recruiting and transfer portal and guys looking for a payday, you can't miss that at all.
I don't. What's really been strange is January used to be such a big time to go recruiting high school football programs across the country. For me, as a guy that would be a recruiting coordinator, a quarterback coach, it has been a ghost town here at Valor Christian High School. And we have one of the top offensive tackles in America. Reese Russell is going to be a senior next year. And we have, I think, one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the sophomore class going to be a junior next year. And Titus Heward, son of Brock Heward, former UW great and Seahawk, and also in our space, in the broadcast space. But we have had nobody here. And it's because they're all just completely inundated with this world of the transfer portal. I've had some unique conversations. Yesterday I was talking to a former quarterback of mine that I'd recruited and had some interactions with over the last couple of years, just tracking his college playing career. And it was really interesting. He has 0 opportunities at any level that are offered via the portal and or NIL to be a starting quarterback. So I'm like, okay, so basically there's no value there. He goes, no, actually, I just got offered $250,000 to be the 3rd string quarterback at LSU. And I'm like, what are we doing? When I first heard about NIL, I thought that like starters would be making in that capacity. I was a third string quarterback at Boise State. I should have paid them $250,000 to have me on their roster, to be honest. It's wild to think that there's that kind of money, even for backups. And what I think changed it all is I think a lot of people got the NIL piece wrong, and they all thought, I need to pay 1, 2, or 3 big-time players $7 million combined or $10 million combined. What Indiana University did, Kurt Signetti, is he went out and got like 70, 80 players that had been starters at FCS, at Group of 5, at lower levels of the Power 4, even some Division II players. But it still costs money. He just spread it out over a lot more players, and I think that's the new trend now is copycat league. Let's make sure we go the Indiana route and have a really well rostered team from a depth standpoint.
I know this would be a per team situation, Coach, but I look at NIL in comparison to coach salary and coach retention. Where are universities paying more attention right now? Is it coach salary and coach retention, or is it NIL?
It's got to be NIL. I mean, players, the famous Gary Anderson quote, right? Players make plays, players win games, right? And it's true. It is true that now that you're getting into space now, the rev share model, which is a complete farce. Anybody who thinks that there was going to be a salary cap in college football and we were going to even the playing field, it's a joke. And people are pointing to IU being in a national championship as the fact that, that's proof of concept that the salary cap brought everybody back to square one. What nobody understands is how much backdoor money is still happening at places like Indiana. They're just the NCAA waved the white flag of surrender for any form of punishment for basically anything. And so people are doing it front door, back door, side door, out, no door. It doesn't matter. And so that's where the money is coming from so many different sources. Some kids just want cash. They don't want to go the traditional model. And so it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. But the only way that you can survive right now is to completely and utterly adopt the mess and the madness and find a way to fund your roster as much as you possibly can. And that's why I think coaching salaries are going to end up taking a big hit. They have to. It's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years where coaches are going to be probably paid less than their star player. And we're not too far from that being a reality.
Wow. Is it, and Hans mentioned this the other day, is it the high school kids that are taking the brunt of this in recruiting?
Yes. I just had some interesting conversations with a couple of the senior players that I coached this year at Valor Christian, some really good high school football players. They're like in a normal model. Like I'd say that kid's probably a CSU scholarship player, or that kid's, could play at Weber State, right? Those kids right now aren't even getting a sniff from those schools. And you know what's funny is I tell them, you don't want to go to CSU right now. You don't want to go to even CU right now, unless you're a high priority, high NIL, high valuation player that's going to have a chance to get film. So I think there's right now over 11,000 players that are currently stuck in the transfer portal with no home. Those players are comprised of a lot of guys that went to a school that looked like a dream logo for them to go to, the traditional model. Like, I got a scholarship to the University of Utah, baby. I'm rolling. Well, if you didn't get any practice film, or if you didn't play in games in your first 2 years, you're going to get kicked to the curb. They're going to tell you to go in the portal. And then guess who wants you? Nobody. They'd rather take the D2 kid that has really good film, really good college film, because that's how Indiana built it. They built it with 50, 60, 70 guys on their roster that had legitimate college football film, and that's where the premiums play. So if anybody's listening to this right now, and your son or daughter in other sports, but especially in football, your son's got the opportunity to be a D2 player or just keep holding out hope to be a Division I player, guess what? You're going to be a D1 player on signing day, and a year later, you're going to be in the portal without a home because you have no film. Does
JUCO count in there, or is it more a D2 or
JUCO? Absolutely. JUCO's. You want to talk about junior colleges, D2s? NAIA programs, man, they're benefiting crazily from this insane world that we're living in. They're getting some ballers there, man. There's some creatures walking around, some JUCOs and some Division II programs right now. That's my advice to people. Go to a place that loves you, wants you to play, and find a way to get filmed. That's it.
Mike Sanford joining us right here on 97.5, the KSL. I don't feel great about this Buffalo matchup for the Broncos. Where are you at on this?
I feel good. Scotty, I know you big Broncos supporter yourself.
All right.
Here's why I like it. Did you see the injury reports for the two yesterday that came out? One looked like the Declaration of Independence, and the other one looked like a quick Cliff's note about the game. The Broncos are healthy. They're coming off of a nice 13-day layoff in a season where they won a lot of really close football games. The way I see this playing out is if the Broncos can win the turnover margin and they can match red zone scoring production of Josh Allen. Josh Allen has 16 touchdowns rushing in the red zone this year. Obviously, a lot of them are on the kind of the Josh Allen version of the tush push or the quarterback sneak. But if the Broncos can match those two metrics, I think they win this football game. I think it's going to be close because that's the only thing the Broncos know how to do. Frankly, the Bills are kind of in that same space as well. But the other piece of the puzzle is James Cook. Last year, 23 carries, 120 yards against the Broncos in Buffalo in the wild card round. The Broncos have to shore up their structure defensively to make Josh Allen beat you as a thrower. And if that's the case, I think you win the game.
All right, Coach, let's say Kyle Whittingham stays in Michigan for 3 years. Does he make it to a national championship?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm just going to answer very honestly and candidly. No, I don't think so. I think that there are certain fits at certain programs. Kyle Whittingham was the absolute perfect fit at the University of Utah. Can't find a better one. And I don't think everybody's a perfect fit at every program. That is a great football coach. It has to do with your recruiting pipeline. It has to do with like the culture and ethos of the place that you're coaching at. I don't think he's going to be a bust by any stretch of the imagination. But national championship, Michigan has won how many of those in the last 25 years? That's a pretty tall standard. I know they did it recently, but that place is, it's in a world of hurt, A, and B, I think you got to really, really hone in on building your roster with players that are generally speaking from the Midwest and the Eastern Seaboard, and that's going to be just a little bit of an outside of the element for Kyle and the staff that he's put together.
So you talked about Curt Cignetti. Is that something he really keyed in on? I know you were talking about how he built it and where he went to get his players, but is that something that was a really good fit for him where Indiana's exploded?
Yeah, I think it's a good niche program. The other thing that's kind of fun about Indiana for Curt Cignetti is he had a chance to kind of lay in the weeds, and nobody really had a microscope on him, right? So how he was building it, what he was doing, it just happened quickly. I think his superpower, when you watch him on game day, watch Curt Cignetti closely. I mean, everybody jokes about that. He looks like a serial killer with no expression, no matter what's happening, good or bad. He doesn't do anything during the games. Have you watched that? Like, he doesn't talk. He's not calling plays. You know what he is? He's the evaluator. He is the guy that has put the roster together, hand in hand with, I'm sure, his general manager or director of player personnel. But yeah, he has a gift of evaluating I'd say the breadth, the width of a roster as opposed to just the top end of a roster. And I think that's where some people have gone wrong. They spent too much of their investment again on the top end. Frankly, I think BYU did a good job. I think they had a really good wide roster. They didn't just have one or two superstars and then just a bunch of average players. I think they were pretty good just about everywhere. And I think Curt Cignetti is making that the model. Now, the thing about it, everybody could go out and be great evaluators. What Curt Cignetti has that people don't want to admit in the college football landscape, he's got money. Somehow, some way. I don't know how. It doesn't add up. I don't know why their basketball program stinks and their football program's awesome. I don't know why Nebraska's football program stinks and their basketball program is awesome. Somehow, some way, these programs are finding, I call it backdoor money, because it's outside of the general rev share dollar. And Indiana's got it, because there's no way you could pay 50, 60, 70 players what they're paying just to get in the door with them. So that's it still comes down to money. And I know everybody wants to make it all about, Curt Cignetti's a genius, and maybe he is, but he also funded it as a genius. And typically you are a smarter coach when you have better players. Better players want more money, and that's what Indiana has.
So BYU, as you mentioned, Kalani Sitake, not a jerk, by the way, is
good guy.
We had a That's a little inside joke between me and Mike from our evaluation of a lot of coaches out there.
Oh, yeah.
But Mike's got a really good theory on what makes a good coach.
It's the jerk. What is it? The jerk quotient, we'll call it. The bigger the jerk, the more likely success that you're going to have. I think it adds up. Mario Cristobal, jerk. Curt Cignetti, jerk. Both in the national championship game 5 days from now, right?
Wow, it does play out.
Yeah, and so here you got Kalani Sitake, not a jerk, but still winning games and being able to keep the guys. Now, obviously, financially, that means BYU's got to spend a lot of money. However, also, there's something about the culture that he's building there where guys are like, okay, I can go make equal money maybe somewhere else, but I want to stay here and be part of this. What do you think he's building there that's attractive to these guys?
Well, I mean, BYU is one of those programs, and my brother-in-law just recently left BYU as one of the quarterback coaches. He's now at Colorado State University here with Jim Mora. He just said, BYU is one of those places that it's almost a utopian environment. And I know, I don't say that from a perspective of, the church-based school and all that, but because of some of the natural selection process of going to BYU, kind of like me coaching at Valor Christian. Similarly, I don't deal with a lot of the headaches because there's a self-selection process of kids that go to a school like this or that go to a school like BYU, that you're able to stay focused on football, and the football's fun. And that's what you see when you watch a BYU team play with Kalani. And I think this is historical. I think it's not just new. I think about some of those really good teams back when Bronco Mendenhall was the head coach, and even some of Crow's better years. That's a team that looked like they were having a blast playing football. And because you don't have to worry as a coach or even as a team about so many of the other cultural problems that plague so many of these universities. If I had a dollar for every time that I did bed check at certain non-BYU, non-Boise State, non-Valor Christian schools, that I've done a bed check and I'm walking through the hotel and all I smell is the state flower of Colorado. You guys kind of catch what I'm putting down right there. That on game day.
I'm with you.
On game day. I'm talking about players that you are entrusting your livelihood, or me with my 3 children, on game day, and I'm saying okay, all right, our starting receiver and our interior defensive lineman, well, they're going to play high today, so that's how it goes, I guess. It's different, and I think there's something about the purity of the game of football and the kind of kids that young men that you have at a place like BYU that help you find success.
Coach, last thing from me, I've treated Miami like the Dread Pirate Roberts treated Wesley, where it was, you'll live, but I'll kill you tomorrow. You'll live today, but then I'm going to kill you tomorrow. And I've treated Miami like that. No, they're done. No, they're going to lose. No, they're dead. They're out. And Miami just continues to thrive and survive. They make it to the championship game against Indiana. Kicks off on Monday. Are we going to have any kind of a game, or is this just going to be a blowout snoozer?
I'm calling a game, and here's why. Just like I talked about the strategy that I've kind of noticed from Cignetti about getting a really good, wide, deep football team. Mario Cristobal, former offensive lineman, former offensive line coach, even when he's like been the air quotes offensive coordinator for programs, he's always really been the O-line coach and run game guy. He spent his money. His model is, let's have the best trenches in college football. Let's invest in our offensive line, our defensive line, our front seven, including linebackers. They're built really well in the trenches. And I think that has kept them in every single contest. And, man, Carson Beck, a guy that I didn't like a year ago, I thought he was a total bust. He's playing great ball. He's doing what is required of him to win games when it comes down to it, and he's an experienced player. So I think I actually think we're going to see good contests. I think the spread is at 7.5 right now. I think it's going to be inside of that, and it wouldn't surprise me if this game goes the direction of Miami. I think that they have done such a good job of not only evaluating and investing in their trenches, but they've also coached them really well. And nothing that I thought I would say necessarily maybe, 7-8 years ago about Mario Cristobal, but he's outcoached. His staff has outcoached some teams too this year. But it is easier to outcoach teams when you have really good big fellas up front on both sides of the ball.
Hey, we can't thank you enough. Thanks for hanging out with us, and had a blast with you in Arizona. We got to do that again sometime. Just an absolute joy hanging out with you and Tim and the rest of the crew there. It was an absolute thrill to be able to call that game, and let's get you back on the air here real soon.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. You guys have an awesome rest of your week, and another great weekend of football coming up.
You're the best, Coach. Thank you.
Mike Sanford right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Altitude Sports Radio in Denver. Does a heck of a job.
We're not getting a game. I know I keep saying Miami's done. Miami's done.
You know what you're doing is guaranteeing that we have a game. Because, and Tyler, here's the thing. Hans, when he predicts games, I'd say he's probably batting about 994, 940 is about. Dude's forgotten more about football than we. And every time, every game Miami has played, Hans like, they're dead, they're done, and they keep winning.
And they just keep winning.
And for whatever reason, Miami is your kryptonite.
I don't know what it is, but I'm underrating their defensive front.
97.5, the KSL Sports
Zone. It's time to saddle up and talk about the winners and the losers. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, here's the good.
As he pedals up the left flank, he shoots and scores! Dylan Gunther fires a frozen row, almost too good to believe. Nobody knew it was in and out just like that. And Dylan Gunther has his team-leading 22nd goal of the year. Sergachev diagonally, Paterka towards the net, tapped on goal, Boots scores! Oh, these boots are made for walking, break out the Nancy Sinatra. It's his third NHL goal.
Yes, I love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, that's
come
good
on,
stuff.
man.
That's good stuff.
Come on, you and I gotta love it. I know every once in a while you'll roll out something.
Oh yeah,
Greg Wrubell ceases to surprise because he loves those things.
Yeah,
and if you heard the Greg Wrubell story, as his predecessor was leaving the booth, and he was taking the booth on that guy's way out, he was like, puns don't hit, so don't do them. Have you heard that story?
No.
And Greg's like, oh, well, that's kind of my thing. And he has knocked it out of the park.
Oh.
Greg, and I can't help, I almost turn into Ron Boone and go, I almost turn into Ron Boone when he does it. But he'll hit me with them. And I'm like.
And the delivery's so dry, too.
And I have to be. I have to be on my toes because I got to keep pace. I'll give you one, for instance. When Will Ferrin knocked through the field goal to beat Utah in the rivalry game 2 years ago, he hit this perfect. Where there's a will, there is a way. A 44-yarder by Will Ferrin just nailed the call. And I said, and Greg, you would be fair in saying it. It just came perfectly together.
You one-upped him.
No.
You one-upped him. You one-upped him. Is what you did.
No.
Yeah, you did.
No, where there's a will, there's a way.
I know. And then you're like, okay, I can't let him get away with that. I got to get on top of that.
I have never seen the one
That's
up.
not.
That's one up.
I'm playing second fiddle.
No. That's you being like, no, you want to go? All right, let's go.
Truthfully, you probably had the better one, so you one-upped him.
Yeah. No, yours was better.
That's not true, man. Because the way he delivered it, it was just money. But I'm like, oh.
Look, all's fair in love and war. It's fine.
I think that his column was money. I think I was a backseat, and that's great. I just wanted to make sure I'm keeping up with the Joneses of
You
them.
one up, Greg.
No, I did not, dude. I did not. That is not true.
Hey, you know what? That's a little. Hey, Greg, he got you back for the Boise thing. that was for Boise right there.
Take that.
Oh man, he keeps me on my toes.
He's so good.
I like that call. The boots are made for walking.
Yes.
What did he say? Call up Sinatra.
Nancy Sinatra.
I thought he hit that, and obviously the Mammoth. Man, they hit that shot, and I'll tell you who's quickly becoming my favorite Mammoth player. That is Jack McBain.
Yes.
Jack McBain at 6'4", 6'5", 225 pounds from Toronto. He is a regulator. He is a hard hitter. He's that big, scary body that'll just stand right in the slot and pound you and cause distraction and damage. And I think he got one of the 6 last night. He is just the money man.
Well, anybody, look, my guy here, one of the nicest human beings on the planet. But if somebody wrongs you, you remember.
Yeah.
You got an elephant mind on that.
Do.
And
it's a problem.
And here's Jack McBain, saw Logan Cooley get hurt back in November. He's like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to take my time. But when I get my shot, you and me are going. And I got to imagine that guy's like getting ready for that Mammoth game. He's like, oh, McBain's going to want to fight. It's like, I don't want, Coach, I'm not feeling, get out there. I'm like, no, he's going to want to fight right out of the gate.
Put Stevens out there.
Like, can we get somebody else? Like,
Line 2, roll.
I'm
not in line 2, Coach.
I don't really want to fight right out of the gate. Well, guess what? You got to. Mm-hmm. And McBain waited, and when he got his chance, justice was served. And I know that would resonate well with you.
But I hope you leave enough room for my fist, because I'm going to ram it into your stomach.
That's McBain's speech just before he takes the S. So I've had the opportunity to be pretty darn close to one of McBain's brawls.
Yeah.
And so there's a couple things about McBain that I've noticed. He talks to himself. And there's always something strange. There's only one other guy that I've ever seen in the world of football that talked to himself. And I happen to know that he was on regulating medication. And there was rumors that if he's off his medication, then just stay away.
Stay clear.
Yeah. He was an absolute psycho. And you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And McBain talks to himself. And I don't know if he knows it. I don't know if he realizes it, but I've watched him. And he'll skate around slowly in timeouts, and he's saying things, and you're like, oh, okay, that guy's a little bit different. And he shows that difference on the ice. You know who leads the team in penalty minutes?
Yeah.
It's Jack McBain, and it's by 15.
Yeah, that's probably a good sign there.
Yeah, he's spent a lot of time in the box, and that's exactly what you want from your leader. Spicy Tuna, going back a few years ago.
Yeah, he used to lead.
He was the leader, and he's down the list behind Hayton. But you got to love this team, and I love the fight in this team. And right now they are showing, and this is a great – we've talked about this. We've talked about home ice. We've talked about how important it was for them to get back to the Delta Center and how it was just impossible because the schedule didn't allow them to do that. But we are now watching them dominate home ice. And here's the really good news, Scotty. The really good news is they've got 3 games left in this nice streak at home. Then they go on this little road trip, this 4-game roadie, and then they come back, and they've got another 6 game homestand.
Yeah, that schedule evens
to finish out January.
Nice.
So they're going to finish out January. They're stuffing 8 home games to finish out January, and then they've got 1 home game in that 6-game stand to start February. So from now to February 1st, they've got 9 home games.
How many?
9 times. Okay, hold on. Do you know that reference? 9 times. I'm pointing at our tech, who's
23. How old are you?
25.
Yeah.
9 times.
How about this,
Dave?
I don't remember
okay,
him
Dave
being.
got it.
I don't remember him being sick 9 times.
Okay, how about this?
9 times.
9 times.
I wouldn't throw anybody with that bad back. Come on, hey Scotty,
At least Dave's giggling over here.
Keep throwing lines.
You could take a lump of coal and put it right up there, and in a month you'd have a diamond. What's the movie? Arzier doesn't know.
Man, Arzier doesn't know.
You need to do some homework, and when you get the car out of impound, you go watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Speaking of the car out of impound,
yeah,
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Exactly. It might hit a little too close to home right now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Arzier's a little distracted today.
Hans and Scotty coming up next. Whole World News right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Go! It's time to span the globe for the hard-hitting news you care about. Well, not really. But hey, at least we found it interesting. This is Whole World News on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We've got the whole world in our hands.
You got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We've got the whole world in our hands. We got the whole world in our hands.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Time for another edition of Whole World News. Hans, I'm curious to know if this is something that would have interested you back in the day, because you and I, like, if you went to college and you were a sports fan in the mid to late 90s, chances are you'd come home off of, a party or something like that, and you'd fire up ESPN and you'd watch the World Strongman competition.
Oh.
Some of that stuff that would just run overnights. Magnus Van Magnuson.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Scotty, I watched more of that than I could even tell you.
Well, you'll like this, because there's this strongman competition going on. It's called Boulder Over the Shoulder.
Seen it.
The rock, the boulder, weighs anywhere from 475 to 525 pounds. Mm-hmm. And you got to watch. I mean, if you've seen it.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen some cuts.
Look at this dude's head.
Yeah, he looks like a Sharpei. Is that the guy?
Yeah, well, there's multiple guys here. This guy can't get it done.
Okay, but by the way, when you watch this, you immediately think of AI. Have you made sure that's not AI?
It's not AI. Nope.
Because his head is so weird.
And then you got this guy. He can't even get it off the ground, period. And these dudes look like they are incredibly strong. This guy, he's got a pretty good shot, gets it up, but he can't get it over the shoulder. And the thing is, the rock has, different angles and things like that, so it's really hard to get a good look. This guy comes pretty close. He gets it on his lap, but he just can't get it to the shoulder.
That's Shaw. He's one of the famous big men.
But he fails.
Wow, so Shaw
and
couldn't even get it.
And then here comes Matisse, and watch this dude. Just boom. Mateus, yeah.
Holy
And cow. Looks around at the guy's like, that's all you got?
And just holds it on his shoulder.
Puts it right on his shoulder.
400-pound stone.
Almost 500 pounds.
Sharpei, man, it threw me off, because when I saw Sharpei, man, I thought that's AI, so I didn't finish the video.
Oh, yeah?
So I didn't even see that. Mateus step up and be able to do that. But have you watched Brian Shaw? Do you know much about Brian Shaw?
No clue.
So Shaw was the one just before Mateus. And that man's story and his records and his strength is legendary. Has your son got into these things yet? Because this is all rock stuff. Rock. Brock hits me up all the time with these things.
No, I should. If he found out about it, he would be. Absolutely. I kind of limit the old social media with that cat.
But these kids nowadays, they love the strongman competitions, and Rock he'd watch their documentaries and watch what they're eating, and because he'd sit at the table, he's like, oh, anyways, I got a force feed. I'm like, what's force feed? Well, you force feed. I'm like, where did you get that term? And it's off these strongman things. So
because they just work down so many calories.
Brody's going to come home with some strongman terms, and you'll be like, Brody, stop it. I got the bolt pull today. What are you even talking about? Bolt pull. Back in the day, though, like the old strongman competitions, where they would have two refrigerators welded onto an iron bar, and they would pick up these two refrigerators and have to go 50 yards with it. I still, to these days, I can go back, I can watch those reruns.
Oh, absolutely.
I consider myself a very strong person, and I maxed the highest max on bench was 525. I dabbled into the 700s in squat. I wasn't the biggest squatter, but I was still in the 700s in squat. I considered myself an extraordinarily strong human being. And then you watch these strong men putting a near 500-pound stone on your shoulder. That's just – I'm going to go research Mateus. I want to know more about him.
I guarantee Tyler knows about – you watched a lot of World Strongman competitions back in the day. Late night ESPN.
Yeah, that's all it was on.
Yeah, exactly.
Magnus Ver Magnuson.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way, when you're watching these guys, you're like – oh, my ancestors were on the same ships as these guys' ancestors. Like, they look a lot like me, and they are absolute freaks like I am. And
monsters.
ugly
Oh,
like
yeah,
me.
yeah, these are ugly dudes, man.
They're ugly guys.
No, we look like Brad Pitt compared to these guys. All right, 97.5, the EKSL Sports Zone.